Hello there, this is Bick Benedict. We're playing Rise of the Tomb Raider on the PC on Survivor difficulty, and this is the first installment of my new walkthrough for the PC version. So this will be a complete guide and walkthrough, and you may notice that in the upper right hand corner of the screen it has my frame rate. When this game came out a week ago, and by the way, I've completely finished the game now. When I did the guide before, you may have noticed that it was done via a blind run, meaning that I hadn't completed the game at the time, so I didn't feel confident in really imparting things without having the encompassing knowledge of beating the entire game. So I have gone through and completed the game now, and as long as nothing else interferes in my personal life, I will be able to finish this guide. But I did have some things coming up that made the first guide, well, I could have finished it, but I didn't realize that some of the things that had come up were going to not come up at the last minute. So I do apologize about that, but this guide is a lot better now. It has better editing in it, and I know exactly where to go in almost every situation so that I don't have to do a lot of extensive editing and ruin the experience with a bunch of edits and things like that. But patch notes actually came out for this game yesterday, you guys. I've got a couple of things to talk about with the patch notes in upcoming videos. But one of the things that they did is that they now have an invert x-axis on the gamepad and for the mouse and keyboard too, which I thought was actually really kind of them to do that and to listen to user feedback. I never logged a complaint about it, but I think somebody else, other people must have done that. But when this game first came out, I had a lot of issues with trying to obtain a frame rate. You can see the frame rate, it's in the upper 30s, the low 40s, the mid 40s. The quality settings that I have for the graphics options, they're on high. They range from lowest to very high. If I put the graphics settings to very high, then I get an unplayable game that stutters constantly. But high is actually the recommended setting by the developers, and as long as you're comfortable with a fairly decent frame rate, I would recommend playing it on high or medium. If I want to obtain a frame rate that's near 60, then I put it to low or medium. I normally can get that with my GTX 960 graphics card, but they actually recommend a 970, which is the graphics card that is on the market, and I think it's like $325. It's quite an expensive graphic card, but that's for the recommended settings. For the minimum settings, I think you only need about a $100 card to play the game properly. But I thought that was really cool of them to put in the invert x-axis, because I personally invert the x-axis when I play. The only thing about it is that it only affects the well, I shouldn't say that it only affects a certain thing, because it affects two things. It affects the look, the look rotation, and it affects the aiming rotation. What I wanted was for the look rotation to have the x-axis inverted, but also an option to keep the aiming rotation normal without being reversed or inverted. That might seem kind of funny to you, but that's how I like to play. I like to keep the x-axis inverted just when I'm looking around the map, but when I'm aiming, I'm kind of funny. It's kind of weird like that. But I also wanted to take this opportunity, since there's not much in this video, to talk about a brand new series that I'm going to be debuting tomorrow night. Subsequent installments of this particular series will occur on every Saturday at 8 p.m. That's normally when I listen to my opera Shitfest on Capital Public Radio, you guys. If you follow me on Twitter, I always tweet it out so I can support the show. But it's a brand new series. It has nothing to do with hardest difficulty, but it has something to do with first impressions. And if you want to tune in tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, you'll be in treat for some good festivities. And what I wanted to do is take the channel in a slightly different direction, just in one aspect, because it's kind of intimidating sometimes to be on YouTube and not have many subscribers. I also uploaded a channel trailer that some people really were misconstruing, and I actually took it down just because of all the negative things that it got. But I didn't want to make the video public in the first place, but I had to, otherwise YouTube wouldn't put it on my my channel main home hub page or whatever it is, where you put your channel trailer on there. So I only wanted it to be viewable to people who weren't subscribed, but it appears that you have to have the video public. So just realize, you guys, it was nothing about me taking your guys' money, the people who donated, taking your guys' money and running. Because if I had done that, then why am I sitting in this chair in the same spot? I didn't take anybody's money and run. You know, I'm very grateful, and I treated the handling of the money with as much conscientious design as I possibly could, because I would never take advantage of anybody. And it got misconstrued. The trailer did, and it was basically some edited clips of a movie called Giant that this channel is founded on, one of the characters in the movie. But anyway, you know, sometimes just weird things happen on channels, you know. But definitely tune in tomorrow night, because I've got a brand new series premiering. Take care.